Hello guys, welcome back to Archive Rising. So in this video I'm gonna talk about Mauxir Shadow Skill. So Mauxir Shadow Skill is a 5-star Chaos Elemental damage dealer, where all of her skills can deal AoE damage. And also, she has a very high chance will come out as a support operative, based on her standard skill, manifestation passive, weapon skill, and logistic skill. We still don't know the exact DPS from her standard skill, but if her standard skill have a low DPS, then you should prefer to use her support skill instead, because you can see later how good her support skill can be. And for her manifestation passive, we still are unable to confirm it yet, but maybe most of her manifestation will mostly focus on buffing her support skill and ultimate skill instead of her standard skill. While for her weapon skill and logistic skill, we already confirmed that where her weapon skill and logistic skill will mainly focus on making her into more become a support operative, where her weapon skill can increase her max HP by a certain percent, and also every time she uses her support skill, the entire team will increase attack based on certain percent of the equipped operative max HP. So you need to use her support skill in order to trigger the weapon skill. While for her logistic skill, it also can increase max HP, and every time she uses her support skill, ultimate will gain increased ballistic damage, and besides that, the active operative attack will also increase. So in order to activate her weapon and logistic skill, require her to use her support skill. And also she have an useless auxiliary unit named Cabochette, where this auxiliary unit will not help her at all, except when she using her skill. When she using her standard skill, the Cabochette or drone will become a shadow, and she will throw the shadow toward a target that will explode when in contact with the target, and knock up all the surrounding enemy that will end the AoE. You can also press and hold the skill button in order to charge the skill, and when you're charging the skill, she will keep consuming the stamina and start. The longer you charge the skill, the farther she can throw the shadow, and also the higher explosion damage will be, so you can keep dancing all around until her stamina run out. But for her throwing range, of course it will also depend on the enemy position. If the enemy are too far away, then you will need to charge her skill more longer. But if the enemy are very close to you, even though you're charging her skill for too long, the shadow will only travel a short distance to the enemy location and explode upon contact. So charging her skill is not really necessary when come to the enemy distance, unless you want to increase her skill AoE damage. Also, while you're charging her skill, she will produce a repelling force that will repel any enemy that close to her, so this will act as her barrier from melee enemy by preventing them to getting close to you. Also, the last one is this skill chaos damage from the explosion will count as auxiliary unit. So if you want to increase this skill, you will need to use logistic squad that have a skill to increase auxiliary unit damage. Also from this footage, you can see that her standard skill only have 2-second cooldown, which means her standard skill is quite usable even though she is a support operative. So even though she is a support operative, you can also use her as an active operative on the field who have crowd control skill. And the next one is her support skill. When she using her support skill, the Cabochette or the drone will bind the main target and several sub-targets together and deal DOT chaos damage to all the targets that count as a Mauxir skill damage, which means you can buff this DOT damage by increasing Mauxir active skill damage. It's still unclear how many targets you can bound in here. Before it said that it can only bound 3 sub-targets, and now they already changed it into a several target. At this moment, as long as the Cabochette still exists, the Cabochette will act as a main target part, so you can shoot at the main target or the Cabochette itself. That if you shoot at the Cabochette, it will transfer a certain damage it takes to the main target. Maybe this kind of mechanism will work the same as her 4-star version, where her basic skill, if we shoot at the auxiliary unit, the auxiliary unit will amplify the damage and transfer it to the main target. Also, it's better to shoot directly to the cabinet so the cabinet can amplify your damage and transfer it to the main target. Well, the downside about this skill is that cabinet can only transfer the damage it takes to the main target instead of all of the target it bound. And also the ability from the cabinet to bind the target together is still unclear. Either the enemy target will still able to move around or got bound to stand still in their position. And when she uses her support skill, you can see that she will also appear on the field. So you can't switch to Mauxir as long as the skill duration haven't run out. Well, you will be able to change her when the skill ends because of the skill duration run out, or because the main target is defeated so the skill will end by itself, or by repressing the skill button to end the skill before the skill duration run out. And the damage transfer by cabinet is not count as auxiliary unit or Mauxir damage, so that means you can't buff the transfer damage at all. You can only depend on the active operative damage instead. And here you can also see her another version of support skill, that she will count out and slow all of the enemy in front of her and then be gone. Yep, it's kinda funny to have this kind of footage that doesn't the same as the skill description at all. And the next one is her ultimate skill. When she uses her ultimate skill, she will deal chaos damage to every enemy in front of her and knock them out, and also apply a slow control debuff to the enemy. And then she will create a shadow temple that looks like a pyramid that will explode at the same time when the slow debuff duration runs out, and deal chaos damage to every enemy within the AoE range. And also, there is some footage that show you she can use her ultimate that doesn't consume her ultimate energy at all. Maybe this passive is come from her manifestation, like Haru Absconditus manifestation, where she can use her ultimate skill without consuming any ultimate energy after many seconds pass. This manifestation is quite useful when come to support operative, because most of the time, we didn't want to waste our ultimate energy to use the support operative ultimate skill. So if we can use her ultimate energy for free, why not? And the last one is her passive skill, or Dayummm skill. Her Dayummm skill, the active operative on the field will gain 1 stack of dialectic every second. And after a certain number of stacks, the next shot fired by the active operative will guarantee a critical hit that also does bonus damage, and then it will reset all the stack again. Well, what do you think about Mauxir Shadows as a support operative? Are you gonna pull for her or not? For me, there is 2 main reasons to pull for her. One is because you are Mauxir sim or fans, and the second one is because you need a support operative to build an endgame team, because the way her support skill can make another target part from the main target, maybe it can make Changing Arterial Cloud basic skill to lock on both of the target. So Changing Arterial Cloud can deal more damage even though the enemy is only a single individual or a single target. I think that's all from me. Well, we still need more information about the exact number from her support skill damage. Let's just wait until she comes out and you can try her for yourself. Thank you for watching, see you next time, cheers!